Hello friends, I am Dr. Gaurav Gupta, liver transplant surgeon from Fortis Hospital, Mumbai. Today we're going to discuss a very important and a serious topic, acute liver failure. Now first, we should understand what is the definition of acute liver failure. Now medically, acute liver failure is defined as onset of jaundice to liver failure, which is defined by rise in ammonia level causing hepatic encephalopathy. Now this duration should be less than 6 weeks. So that is a medical definition of acute liver failure. Now to simplify this, what is acute liver failure? For a normal day-to-day person to understand acute liver failure, this acute liver failure happens in the patients who have a totally normal liver. Their liver is not damaged. They have a normal liver. Because of some insult, there is a rapid deterioration of the liver function and liver goes into total failure, rising to ammonia level, which goes to the brain, causing encephalopathy. Patient will be sleepy. There will be high INR, things like that. Now, what are the causes of acute liver failure? This is very important to understand. So, causes of liver failure, most common cause in India and Eastern countries is viral hepatitis. Viral hepatitis can be hepatitis A, hepatitis E, hepatitis B. There can be various other viruses like HCV virus, other kind of viruses which can cause acute liver failure. If we talk about the Western countries, the most common cause of acute liver failure is paracetamol overdose. Paracetamol is the most common drug which is available over the counter. So people take paracetamol for pain. If you take more than 10 to 12 tablets, even this 10 to 12 tablets can cause acute liver failure. So that is one very important and quite common cause of acute liver failure in Western countries. Other etiologies which can cause acute liver failure are Wilson's disease, acute autoimmune hepatitis, and some drugs. There are various other drugs which can cause acute liver failure. There are some poisoning like yellow phosphorus or rat oil poisoning which can also cause acute liver failure. Now once we know about the causes or etiology of the acute liver failure, the next thing to understand is how these patient presents and what is the treatment for these patients. So as I said, most of these patients will have a young, normal, healthy liver, and the starting of the symptoms can be as subtle as just the fever. Now fever will be associated with rise in bilirubin level causing jaundice, so yellowness of your eyes, of your fingertips. So jaundice will start. If you get the lab test, so bilirubin will be high, the liver enzymes which is called SGOT and SGPT, they will be high. Now normally this viral hepatitis, most of the times it settles on its own. You don't need any treatment for these viral hepatitis. But once the liver starts to fail, then that's a concerning thing. So what are the blood tests which tells us about the liver failure? So the most important blood test will tell us about the liver failure is the INR test. INR is international normalized ratio. It tells us your blood is getting thin. So one of the more important function of the liver is to produce blood clotting enzymes. So our blood gets clotted because it's produced by the liver. If the liver is start to fail, there will be the blood does not clot and the clotting properties goes down. So INR going up, and other thing is patients start to get a lot of sleep. So they start to sleep in the daytime, not waking up, and they are not responding to what you ask through their names. They start to forget about things. So this is a sign which is very dangerous. That it means this patient needs to be managed in a liver ICU or a dedicated liver center. So this condition is called hepatic encephalopathy, and it is diagnosed by doing a simple blood test by doing a blood ammonia level. Now, ammonia level in these patients will start to go up. So it goes from 50 to 100 to 200, 300. So once the blood ammonia level goes up, patient will go into deep comatose state. So this is an acute liver failure. Now these are the very critical and very dangerous patients. The why I said dangerous patient, because if they are not properly managed, so there can be a lot of various complication happens. So these patients needs to be managed by a liver unit in a ICU setting. They cannot be managed in any other hospital. They should be managed in a hospital which have a liver transplant facility. Because the reason why I am saying is, if the patient crosses certain parameters, the parameters are called King's College criteria. Once they crosses those certain parameters, then the liver transplant remains the only solution. That's the only definitive therapy which can cure these patients. If we don't go ahead with the transplant, then the lot of patient, very high mortality will happen in these patients. So that is why these patients need to be managed in a ICU setting with a transplant backup. Now, once these patient gets admitted, we start them on antibiotics, because there is a very high risk of getting infection on these patients, because the liver is gone, and liver is also responsible for the immunity in our body. So the liver is not working well, our body immunity goes down. If body immunity goes down, high risk of infections. So that is why we start them on prophylactic antibiotics. These patients are monitors on a hour by hour basis for their kidney function, heart functions, lung functions, because the liver damage can affect all these organs also. Now again, once these patients crosses certain thresholds, which again, as I told you, it's called King's College criteria, then these patients should go for liver transplant as early as possible. These patients should be transplanted within 24 hours or 36 hours. So that is the only way we can treat these patients. Now, results of these transplant. So obviously these patients are sicker patient. So these patient carries a little bit higher risk of complication even after transplant as compared to the other patient who undergo a liver transplant. On an average, we say the success rate of patient undergoing liver transplant for acute liver failure is close to 85%, 85 to 90%, depending on patient to patient. Sicker the patient, obviously higher risk of complication. These patients may take a longer time for recovery, and they may remain in the ICU even after transplant for a long time. Then they may need a longer prolonged intubation, long ventilatory support, they may need artificial dialysis. So all these things needs to be done. That's the only way we can salvage these patients. Now, good thing is, once patient comes out of this transplant, he recovers, they have an excellent quality of life, and they live just like any other normal person. And long-term effect is very minimal. They don't have any long-term side effects from this surgery. They can live a just normal effect. Only thing is, they need a lifelong immunosuppression to keep their liver healthy. So that's the only thing which they need to take, and then they can live a normal healthy life. So that's just briefly about acute liver failure. So we learned today about what is acute liver failure. We learned about the causes of acute liver failure. We learned about how the acute liver failure patients present, and the treatment or the therapy of the acute liver failure. Thank you.